Chapter 15. Look, you idiot. I am trying to tell you something important. Your dear mother is not what she seems to be, you must be careful, whispered Kurama in Naruto's mind. Naruto was traveling to Kumagakure with Sasuke in tow. As they breezed through the forests, Kurama kept on harping about his mother's supposed duplicity. He himself had sensed some conflict in his mother's mind, true. But he didn't really believe she was up to anything dangerous or questionable. He did understand that everyone had their dirty laundry, he himself was no exception. You have more than most. But leaving her own son, however wise and strong, to go alone to a nearly hostile nation? Hashirama, were you always this stupid, or did you get so when you awoke in this life? Kushina literally pushed you to Kuma while she anointed herself Konoha's liaison to Kiri. Doesn't that say something? Asked the Kyuubi sarcastically. Naruto shook his head, also sensing for the approach of any Kuma ninja. My mother is not one to be wary of. She obviously has personal business she does not care to share with me, and I respect that. But she would not do anything against the village, Kyuubi, said Naruto stubbornly. Your naivete never ceases to amaze me, said Kurama, snorting, and retreated deep into the seal. Naruto turned to Sasuke. How do your eyes feel? He asked. He was not sure how much he had healed Sasuke, really. The fact was that the curse mark and the Mangekyo Sharingan had never existed in the same body before, and even he could not predict accurately what effect it would have upon the victim. Sasuke did not reply for a minute, and Naruto felt in him boiling emotions. Recent revelations about his brother combined with the stressful happenings of late had thoroughly changed the young Uchiha. My eyes feel good, thank you, said Sasuke. Naruto's eyebrows rose. This was remarkable. Sasuke was actually thanking people. A sign of hope, mused Naruto. After traveling in silence for quite some time, Sasuke spoke up once more. Why is everyone targeting me? Orochimaru, Akatsuki. What is their problem? Is it not enough that I have lost everyone I love? Why can't they just leave me be? He sighed with tiredness. Naruto's compassion reared at this monologue of Sasuke's. He could understand all too well what the Uchiha felt. I am afraid you won't be left alone for quite a while yet, Sasuke. We both have powers that are central to Konoha's survival, as does Ichi. The Hokage, me and Mito, you, Kasen and Ichi. We will be in the center of happenings in the shinobi world for many years to come. Do not be sad, Sasuke, he said, noting the depressed nature of Sasuke's mind. Depression was possibly the worst thing any shinobi might experience. Their way of life was already depressing. Additional burden may well break a shinobi. He had to head this off immediately. We are live in a beautiful time. Our way of life is harsh and demands many a sacrifice, but we can change the world completely if we so wish. Learn from your brother, Sasuke. Aspire to be like him. To sacrifice without expecting anything in return. To kill with compassion, to protect your dependents with everything in you. That is a true ninja in my opinion, said Naruto. Sasuke thought on this for some time, and then smirked. When did you get so wise, Dobi? When you were busy mulling yourself into oblivion, Utam, replied Naruto without missing a beat. The duo smirked together and continued with renewed vigor. For once Naruto felt not the age of Senju Hashirama, but like a kid his age should be. I should do this more often. Bantering with Sasuke is a good way of centering myself, he thought happily. Consorting with Uchiha. Though I must admit, that runt Sasuke's brother is someone I can respect, rumbled Kurama. Mito-sama, I am afraid Danzo actually has a following. He swayed Mini-Jounin to his side with that speech of his. If Root is officially reinstated, I am afraid Konoha will be split right down the middle, said Jiraiya gravely. The two were walking down the garden Naruto had created during his first meeting with Mito in this life. Surprising them all, Danzo had asked for reinstating the Root division of the Anbu. Many shinobi thought he would ask for weaponizing Naruto Uzumaki or Uchiha Sasuke. Or even worse, both. His speech was very stirring and the reasons he gave were actually valid. If Root had the clandestine support of the administration, then it could use its anonymity and freedom to carry out missions even the Anbu could not. My husband would never stand for Danzo's brutal training, Jiraiya. But the fact is. I somewhat agree with Danzo, she said, causing Jiraiya's eyes to widen. Don't be so alarmed. If we can convince him to drop or at least lessen his emotion wiping, the Root will be a great resource for Konoha. Hiruzen, I think, was a little too hasty in disbanding that division, she finished. Jiraiya frowned, thinking it over. I still don't think Naruto will ever stand for Root's reinstatement. Neither would Minato, nor will I. Ninja are human, Mito-sama. We are not emotionless killers. I would prefer Konoha not to sully itself with Denzo's atrocious schemes, he said strongly. Mito sighed. Leave it be, Jiraiya. I will defer to my husband's decision in this matter. Has your spy network uncovered any news of Akatsuki? Rumors only, Mito-sama. Akatsuki seem to be getting ready for some sort of mission, and they are beginning to establish a small township of their own in Iwa. I am afraid they are beginning to become a concrete entity instead of some obscure organization of criminals. Orochimaru is gathering missing nins at Hotogakure, and Takigakure has Akatsuki presence. AIM is closed to all foreign shinobi, he listed off. Then I guess you received the same intel about Suna as I did? Asked Mito. Jiraiya nodded. If you are talking about Suna trying to retrieve their Jinchuriki from Kumo, then yes. Akatsuki might have a hand in the move, but I doubt it. I think Suna is acting separately from Akatsuki this once. Now that Naruto is going there, I think our alliance with Kumo will be rock solid. No one in Suna can beat our Naruto, he said, proud of his godson. Of that we can be sure, agreed Mito, as they use the Shunshin to gracefully enter the village. Do you really think this is wise, Pain? Asked Ichi as they casually walked towards the hidden village of Cloud. Pain was striding forward purposefully, his robes fluttering in the fierce wind that was whipping up in the forest. Ichi did not think that they would escape unscathed if they were to execute this plan. Yes, Ichi. Akatsuki needs the Baiju eventually, and we cannot have Suna making a move on the Ikabi Jinchuriki so soon. What we can do, however, is capturing Ikabi and Nibi when they are both in the same place, and then keep them in captivity, and then get ready for the sealing technique. Ichi gave an infinitesimal nod, and continued his walk. Kumo was home to many strong ninja, and he wondered how they were to penetrate the tight defense and capture Sabaku-no-Gara. I assume you don't want to infiltrate the village? Asked Ichi, sure of Pain's answer. The man had a deep-seated belief that he was God, and acted the way he perceived a god should act. Sure enough, Pain replied. I am God, Ichi. God needs no deception to accomplish his aims. We simply attack Kumo, extract the Jinchuriki and get back to base. If they stand in our way, I will have to annihilate them, declared Pain. I cannot warn Naruto or Konoha of this development, thought Ichi sadly. He would have to kill many Kumo shinobi today to maintain his cover, for no one could stop him and Pain together. If I am forced to use my Mangekyo, the only result will be a bloodbath. If Pain really uses his Rinnegan, then the only result will be a natural disaster. Either way, Kumo faces destruction today. Even the Raikage will be unable to stop us both, he thought. He had made quite a few friends among Kumo Jounin during his Anbu years, and it would tear his heart to kill them. I only hope my reputation will at least make them cautious. That's far enough, said a voice determinedly, causing Naruto and Sasuke to halt. Naruto had sensed the interceptor quite some time ago, and he assumed they were being analyzed and watched. The chakra he sensed was familiar, but was accompanied by two other unfamiliar chakras. Hello, Yujito-san. Nice to see you so soon after the tournament, he greeted pleasantly. Suddenly, three ninjas stood before them in a Shunshin. Accompanying the Nibi Jinchuriki were two ninja he did not recognize. I am Darui, Jounin of Kumo, and this is Killer B, brother of the Raikage. It seems you have already met Yujito. So, what is Uzumaki Naruto doing in our territory? Asked the now identified Darui lazily. Naruto immersed himself in the chakras of the two and smirked. The Raikage had sent out his strongest ninja in case Naruto proved to be a threat. I am here as a diplomatic representative of Konoha, and with a missive to your Raikage from the Hokage. Please escort us to Kumagakure, Darui-san said Naruto formally. While he was never formal with anyone in his other life, it paid to respect customs. Who's the breath, yo? Exclaimed Killer Bee pointing at Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke grunted Sasuke and went right back to his brooding. Naruto stared straight at Bee, however, flaring his chakra. He could sense the Baijiu within Bee respond to his power with a spike of its own chakra and he recognized it immediately. That's Juki, isn't it, Kurama? I can sense that he is at peace now. Odd. He was the most violent of all of you back when you were all with me. His Jinchuriki must be extraordinary, thought Naruto with wonder. Yeah, it's Juki. That moron, he always got the oddest Jinchuriki. Do you know once when we were young, he was sealed into a hyena? The thing couldn't stand so much chakra so it died after a short while. I believe Juki got his stoic sense of humor after that. He'd had enough laughter for a lifetime, recounted Kurama. Naruto burst into laughter at the tale, causing everyone to glare at him. Gaining control of himself rather fast, he continued his interaction, still breaking into smiles every time he looked at Bee. Is there a problem? Asked Darui sternly. Naruto shook his head. No, not really, Darui-san. I just remembered a joke. Please don't take offense. Yo. Why are you all here when you could tremble in fear? In front of my brother the Hidden Clouds Master, yelled Bee. Expressions that said they were long suffering the bad rap of Bee appeared on the faces of his comrades. Forgive Bee's bad rap, Naruto-san. But he makes a good point, you know. Shall we proceed to the village? It is already time for patrols to change and our shift is over, said Ujito. Naruto nodded and the 5 ninjas shot forward in their shunshuns like blurs, racing towards the village of Cloud. A dozen minutes later they stood in front of the Raikage's office, and Naruto admired the beautiful glass paneling of the buildings here. It made it seem as if the entire village were a mass of beautiful jewels due to its reflective properties. The military organization of the village was admirable, having crisp organization and sound hierarchy. It could respond well to most threats at a moment's notice. Naruto saw a lot of things Konoha could emulate from the Cloud Village. It would benefit from an alliance with this village. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke to see the Raikage on behalf of Konoha, announced Darui. The sexy secretary looked Naruto once over and nodded, ushering them in. Naruto stepped in with his guards and Sasuke, deeply sampling the chakra that saturated the room. The Raikage stood tall behind a desk, a very powerfully built man. Naruto could sense the vitality and power the man used and decided that he had the strength to be Kage. He sensed the curiosity and tension in the Raikage and concluded that the man was a shrewd but temperamental tactician. So, you are Naruto Uzumaki, are you, brat? Questioned the Raikage in a deep voice of menace. Naruto nodded respectfully, and withdrew the missive. Sasuke just watched from the background, his shrewd eyes observing and evaluating. A missive for you, Raikage. Konoha extends its friendship to your nation at this juncture, and I am sure you have thought of it as well. It is time to put aside our nation's histories and work together towards a common goal, declared Naruto, handing the missive to the secretary, who read it in a few seconds and whispered to the Raikage. Naruto sat patiently through it all, observing the Raikage calmly. He could sense Sasuke's apprehension increasing as the Raikage's face grew angry. He didn't flinch as the Raikage appeared behind him in a flash of blue and his body began to emit Raidan chakra in enormous quantities. You breath! How dare your village demand all our Jinchuriki in your so-called strike force? Do you have any idea what it is you are asking? I refuse to share our Baijiu with Konoha, you milk-fed little toddler! Roared the Raikage. Here the Raikage's chakra practically exploded on Naruto, causing exasperated looks to appear on his subordinates' faces. Sasuke seemed amused at Naruto being called a milk-fed toddler. Naruto himself was quite amused with the Raikage's juvenile insult. He had never ever been insulted that way, and really, he found it quite funny. His mouth twitched as he looked at the Raikage who towered over him. Fool! What kind of a messenger are you? You dare laugh at me? snarled the Raikage. Naruto controlled himself, and replied, "No, Raikage. Would you please get your chakra down a bit? It's impressive, but I don't think we need it in a meeting between nations." Yujiro and B winced as the Raikage appeared with blinding speed above Naruto and slammed him into the ground with terrific force. Sasuke could only stand stunned as he could not even follow the Raikage's speed. "That's for telling me what to do in my own office, you loudmouthed brat. This meeting is over," said the Raikage. The crater that housed Naruto glowed a faint green before a voice spoke up. "Not really, Raikage. I am not called God of Shinobi for nothing, you know," said Naruto, standing up nonchalantly. The Raikage's punch seemed to be absent from his chest as he looked critically at the Raikage with bright green eyes. Yujito gasped and Darui's eyes widened in surprise. But B seemed quite occupied in his little notebook. The Raikage's eyes bugged out and this time his chakra rapidly escalated as he stared at Naruto. Naruto stared impassively at the Raikage, all traces of humor gone. "You will listen to me, and you will give our proposal fair hearing. It is required for peace, and I will see it happen." "I have no wish to fight you," Raikage asserted Naruto. This man respected strength more than anything and it seemed he would have to show him his own. "I would like to see you try," said the Raikage in a deadly voice as he disappeared from view and appeared behind Naruto and directed a chop at his neck. Naruto did nothing to stop him, but infused his body with enormous healing chakra that made him glow green. The wound caused by the Raikage closed down immediately. "Don't try to fight me, Raikage. You will not like the results. I do not wish to beat another country's cage to the ground," warned Naruto one last time as they faced each other. It seemed that the last taunt had done the wrong trick as the Raikage seemed enraged beyond anything. The Kumojounin actually looked concerned as the Raikage seemed to go berserk with his rage. He had to go and antagonize Raikage-sama. The boy is good but no one can stand up to the Raikage's speed, thought Darui as he wrote a mental obituary for a young shinobi named Uzumaki Naruto. Pain and Ichi lowered their hoods as they faced the guards at the gate of the Cloud Village. The guards looked at them with a bored face, asking them to provide identification and purpose. "My name is not your concern and my purpose is to create peace," said Pain in a certain voice. Ichi truly admired Pain's fearlessness and confidence in his own power. The guards looked up then, and when they looked at Ichi absolute fear bloomed on their faces. The gate guards of any village were updated on the complete bingo books frequently and they would surely be familiar with him. One guard fainted, and another sent a signal asking for the others to gather and to further alert the village. One went directly to the cage tower as Pain and Ichi simply watched. Numbers made little difference to them, and they took their time observing the village. Pain watched as a shinobi threw himself at Ichi with a katana, and watched as the shinobi simply dropped dead as he looked into Ichi's eyes. The two Akatsuki calmly strode forward, noting that a defense had been formed rapidly in front of the gate. Pain's Rinnegan shone as he said impassively, "If you stand against me, you will all be destroyed. Leave. I only want all your Jinchuriki." "Die, Nukenin scum!" screamed Akuma Shinobi uncertainly. Ichi internally sighed, Pain would absolutely slaughter this detachment of men. He was proved right when Pain raised his hands and intoned Shinra Tensei. Overwhelming force swept everything in front of the Akatsuki to rubble, gate and guards and everything. Alarms began to sound in Kumo signaling a breach in the village as the two Akatsuki walked in unconcernedly into the Cloud Village. House Nkitsu Bakani. Ichi's jutsu skewered another dozen shinobi as it rained several fire shuriken with deadly speed and accuracy. Pain smoothly flowed into his taijutsu, incapacitating and killing the shinobi that ran towards them with impunity. Ichi slowly took towards his designated half of the village and no one could stop the true air of the Sharingan as he countered attacks with absolute efficiency, using both Jinjutsu and Taijutsu with his hallmark proficiency. Ichi heard the explosions that meant Pain was simply sweeping away opposition with gravity itself. He was to search for Gaara in his half of the village and meet Pain at the cage tower. Looking everywhere with his constantly activated Sharingan, he spied for the elusive Ikibi. With a powerful kick, He sent a Kumo Chonin barreling into the wall as he simultaneously replaced himself with a Kage Bunshin. The street was now emptied of civilians as several shinobi fell upon Ichi. Casting a very strong wide area Jinjutsu with a flick of his fingers, he confused the orientation and sight of the attacking shinobi. Moments later, 20 shinobi fell dead as Ichi had punctured their vital points with the Taijutsu he had copied from the Hyuga when he was but 10. Ichi flashed through the streets with his highly refined Shunshin, randomly killing Chonin. With an enormous fireball technique he blew a building into pieces, throwing the street into chaos. In the other direction he could sense Pain blowing a trail of destruction through the village. He spied another dozen Chonin coming at him to his left. They could not escape his Sharingan as he could identify them neatly. Right on, Inazuma no Nami yelled the shinobi together. A powerful arc of lightning 20 meters long connected with Ichi, causing the Nukenon to explode into a murder of crows that reformed behind them. The Uchiha then appeared in their midst and cut them down before they could react. If this goes on, we will have to depopulate this place by ourselves. I hope I can find the Ikabi soon, thought Ichi soon as stopped another nin's heart gently with a pulse of chakra. Raikage-sama! Yelled she as he burst into the office urgently. The sight that faced him was one that was all too familiar. It seemed that their Raikage was having one of his famous temper tantrums and was taking it out on the guest. Raikage-sama, the crisis that faces our village is serious. I have news that began she rapidly. The Raikage held up his hand angrily, still glaring at Naruto. Can't you see I am busy? He snarled. This is important. Yelled she as an explosion tore through the streets of their village. Out of the glass walls of the office, they saw another building undergo a fiery explosion. The noise of panicked civilians and organizing shinobi erupted suddenly in the village and it was apparent that they were under attack. The Raikage's face became cold as he turned to Shi, who was looking at the continuous explosions and wails of dying shinobi with dismay. Report. Who are the invaders? Questioned the Raikage immediately, forgetting the existence of Naruto and the Uchiha. Only 2 of them, Raikage-sama. Akatsuki, both of them. They are tearing up our defenses easily and we are dying by the dozen. We need you and B-san to contain them ASAP. Rattled off Shi. The office shook violently, the glass shattering to bits. Recognition flared in Naruto's eyes as he identified the 2 who were attacking the village with all the efficiency of an army. The Raikage made as if to leave, but he appeared in front of the temperamental leader and said, "Do not take any Jinchuriki with you, Raikage. The ones you face are the leader of the Akatsuki and Uchiha Ichi. They are here to take Jinchuriki, of that there is no doubt. We need to lead them away from your village," said Naruto urgently. "Why you little," snarled the Raikage, but Naruto did not allow him to finish. The already battered office developed cracks as he unleashed his potent chakra, and the desk exploded into pieces at its power. She fell down to the ground with Yujito, their sensor abilities magnifying their inability to resist the power. As another building in the village was blown into bits and fire began to spread, he faced down the stunned Raikage. "Old man, I am trying to save your village. Listen carefully, I have fought these men before." He looked around at Yujito and B. "Do not come out, B and Yujito-san. Sasuke, do not confront your brother. This is not the time for that confrontation. Do not argue." He shouted angrily, noticing the mutinous expression on Sasuke's face. He flared his chakra even more in preparation to fight Pain and Ichi simultaneously. "This will be hard, Hashirama. The Rinnegan birthed me and the Sharingan controlled me. Both those eyes are beyond dangerous. Be careful," cautioned Kurama. Naruto gave a mental nod, and a physical one to the ones in the room. "Raikage, this is my duty. Ichi is a Konoha Nukenin and I have to deal with him personally. I will have to accompany you on this," said Naruto as his chakra did not stop rising. His relief increased as the Raikage nodded, and the 2 of them disappeared to the central square of Kumo where both their opponents had joined up again. "Where is the boy?" asked Pain, looking at Ichi who seemed unscathed. All the Kumo shinobi seemed to be organizing a new assault on the invaders, so they were left untroubled for now. Not in my sector, replied Ichi coolly, his Sharingan observing the spies riddled everywhere. It appears as if he paused as powerful chakra filled the village, slightly surpassing his own. The Raikage is responding, it seems, he said, getting ready to activate Mangekyo Sharingan. The Raikage was too dangerous to be handled otherwise. The cage or nothing before me, said Pain arrogantly as he searched around with his Rinnegan. But abruptly another chakra began to bloom along with the Raikages, a chakra whose potency and vastness dwarfed everyone else in the village, including them. Even Pain took a step back as the chakra of Senju Hashirama gathered like some unstoppable ocean, challenging them defiantly. Naruto is here, thought Ichi with exultation. Akatsuki's latest endeavor would be that much more difficult with a reborn Shodai against Pain. He could feel the Raikage approaching rapidly along with Naruto, the combined chakra making the shinobi of the clouds sweat and shiver. Another Jinchuriki is here to meet his fate. We capture Kyuubi first, then, Ichi said Pain. Ichi was no longer sure they could do that. The fight with Naruto would have to be real as his cover was of utmost importance. They rushed to meet their opponents, paying no regard to the ninja who feebly tried to attack them. Pain just blasted them out of the way. One way or another this village is destroyed, thought Ichi. No mere village can contain the damage of opponents like us meeting in battle. With two rapid body flickers, Naruto stood in the main square of the village with the Raikage. He could see shinobi lining the buildings and walls and could feel them drifting around the village, evacuating the civilians and children. He turned to the Raikage and said, "You take care of Ichi. I will take care of the other one. Be very careful, Raikage. You do not want to underestimate the Uchiha," warned Naruto, causing the Raikage to scoff. Naruto heard the faint displacement of air and turned to face his greatest opponent for now. "Turn back now, Pain. Turn back now, and I might spare your life. I will protect my allies and village no matter the cost." "Go," said Naruto impassively, not really expecting for his request to work. The Raikage, however, was incensed at the sight of the two who had marauded through his village. "I will make you bleed, Ichi. How dare you attack my village and dare to face me? Traitorous scum like you should never have the fortune to die at my hands," he snarled. Ichi did not even look at the Raikage, instead choosing to stare at Naruto. Pain was doing the same and they completely ignored the Raikage. "This time, you are ours, Naruto Uzumaki. Submit to God's judgment and save yourself suffering. This is my final warning," said Pain as he clasped his hands in the serpent seal. Naruto's eyes widened as he sensed the otherworldly chakra Pain was creating with that seal. "This man does not play around," he thought as he scoffed at Pain. "You, a god? Don't flatter yourself. You may have the eyes but you know nothing. I will teach you the difference between us," he said with resolve. Killing Pain would be hard enough, but with Ichi maintaining his cover it would be nigh impossible. But he could drive him away for now. Without wasting a single moment he attacked Pain with his favorite technique, Jukai Kaiten, he said calmly, holding up the half-ram seal. He could see the Raikage disappear from view and attack Ichi with unbelievable speed and power. Ichi would be hard-pressed to counter absolute speed of the Raikage combined with lethal Raiton techniques. Trees as large as the Hokage Tower blasted out of the ground in hundreds and rushed towards Pain, crushing everything in its path. Buildings were crushed to pieces as the rapidly expanding and branching trees rushed towards Pain with terrific force, and the Kuma shinobi leapt high to avoid early deaths. Pain's eyes glowed blue as he opened his clasped hands to reveal a ball of absolute blackness, which he sent floating high into the sky. The trees were almost upon him, nearly condemning him to a painful death when he shouted, "Chibaku Tensei!" Within seconds, the huge main square began to splinter and crack with sharp reports. Then with a huge rush the earth that made up the large area disintegrated with a huge sound and rushed upwards towards the black ball, taking the hundreds of trees with them. Naruto's eyes widened as even he was sent floating towards the black ball at an alarming pace. This is Rikadu's planetary jutsu. But it is far from having Rikadu's power behind it. Pain, you do not know what you are playing with. Yujiro watched with terrified eyes as humongous pieces of the village of Kuma began floating upwards rapidly, attracted by the black ball Pain had thrown. Naruto himself was buried in the huge sphere that was forming up in the sky, shining like a small planet. Slowly, the debris and rocks stopped rising and a large crater stood where the main square of Kuma once was. This fight. It is beyond cage level, she murmured, amazed at the techniques being used. She knew she could do nothing against the Rinnegan wielder, and nothing against Itachi, who was easily matching the Raikage. He is countering Asama with very skilled genjutsu, said Darui, watching both battles for any opening. As seemed to attack Itachi with the speed of the yellow flash, but he never actually hit the rogue Uchiha, who seemed to anticipate every place the Raikage would flash to. 8 says you don't need to worry about the Uzumaki. He says he is not yet dead, said B, for once coming out of rap mode. Yujito was stunned at that. Naruto was most likely dead, being buried under thousands of tons of earth did that to people. But the battle had not yet ended, for a rumbling sound was beginning within the huge earth sphere floating in the sky. It escalated to painful proportions as rocks were crushed within the sphere, causing Pain to narrow his eyes in frustration. With an unbelievably explosive report, the heavenly body created by Pain broke in half and fell to the ground, destroying a huge section of the village. Floating high in the air was a massive wood dragon, Naruto standing upon its head. The dragon began to shine silver as its creator slammed his palm together and shouted, "Makoton, Ruko no Jutsu," and from the mouth of the wood dragon descended a huge beam of solid silver light that lent its brightness to the entire devastated landscape. That is Hashirama's dragon light. I was hit by that once and it took me a week to reform, said Nibi, causing Yujito to gasp again. This was too much. No man should have such strength. She watched with her heart beating erratically as the two shinobi in front of her wielded powers that should never be. The dragon light descended with rushing force and slammed into the ground where Pain was standing with an explosion that rattled her teeth and sent shock waves in all directions. When the huge cloud of dust cleared, it revealed Ichi standing over the prone form of the Raikage. Darui's expression became extremely alarmed. If Asama himself were unable to subdue the invaders. It also revealed Naruto staring down both Pain and Ichi as he stood upon his wood dragon. The detail in the structure of the dragon amazed Yujito to no end. She would say it was real with no hesitation save that it was made of wood. Naruto sighed as he saw Ichi defeat the Raikage. It seemed as if the eternal Mangekyo was a little too much even for the leader of the cloud. Only he had ever defeated an eternal Mangekyo user, but Ichi was different from Madara. In skills and sheer genius, Ichi surpassed Madara, who in Naruto's opinion was an embodiment of power. Ichi had both enormous skill and power. So it comes down to us three, murmured, looking at his two opponents. Pain extended his palm and announced in a deep voice, Bansho-tenen. Naruto felt himself pulled toward Pain brutally and saw the Akatsuki leader pull out sharp chakra rods to pierce him. A few yards shy of death by impalement, he twisted in the air and kicked Pain with all his considerable strength, causing the Akatsuki to slam into the ground with terrific force. At the same time he heard Ichi's voice proclaim, Amaterasu. A tree sprouted in front of him to take the brunt of the heavenly flames. Naruto winced as he felt the tree burn to nothing and stared at Ichi's eyes, looking at his eternal Mangekyo for the first time. And he gasped in surprise. He never knew that a Mangekyo could take on this shape, for sitting in the middle of Uchiha Ichi's red pupil was the symbol of the Uchiha clan. Is Ichi the perfect Uchiha? Wondered Naruto. Is he my counterpart from the clan of hatred? These are not trivial opponents, you idiot. To match both of them at once, you need to take them seriously. That Ichi fellow with the Uchiha Mangekyo is at least as dangerous as the Rinnegan wielder. I know that, Kurama. Makoton, Hote no Jutsu, said Naruto, and massive hands of wood burst out all around Ichi and Pain, seeking to crush them. Pain blasted them to smithereens, but Ichi unveiled something intimately familiar to Naruto. Golden fire materialized in front of Ichi and spread to form a huge skeleton of chakra with 4 hands. In its 2 hands it bore legendary weapons, the sword of Totsuka and the Ita mirror. In the other two hands it held the fires of Amaterasu. "Looks like I will have to get serious," mused Naruto. "That is what I am trying to tell you, you overconfident moron," snarled the Kyuubi. With a single slash of the Totsuka blade, all of his invading wood hands were sealed into it permanently. Naruto watched as Pain appeared beside Ichi, who was wreathed with the still incomplete Susanoo. This time, he would not let Pain go. With a roar, his wood dragon rushed towards the duo. Silver light blasted out of its mouth in a raging torrent as Naruto unleashed the dragon light once more. But it was to no avail, as the beam split into two as it met the mirror, and collided with the ground separately, causing debris to fly everywhere. Ichi met the onslaught of the wood dragon with the Itamira, which Naruto could not penetrate. Simultaneously, Pain appeared smoothly beside the large wood dragon and laid a hand on its body. Shinra Tensei. Naruto leapt off his wood dragon as it was sent careening into the distance, crashing through several buildings. This was getting ridiculous, he thought. The longer this fight went on, whatever remained of Kuma would get ground into extremely fine dust. As he looked around, he saw the devastation this fight had caused to the Cloud Village. It made the creation of the Akatsuki response force even more vital than before. It could only be hoped that the hot-headed Raikage would see sense at least now. But for now he would end the fight. He had to convince Pain to let up on his offensive for a time. The sky grew dark as he summoned his strength and intoned powerfully. "Makoton, Kamisoko." His chakra sang as he melded Makoton to rise up from the earth, forming a huge wooden skeleton that encased him completely. He could see Ichi's stunned face as he created a Makoton version of the Susanoo. He had created this technique specifically to battle the Uchiha who were so proud of their Susanoo wielders. "This is my technique, the God Armor. I will warn the two of you again. Leave. I won't hold back from here onwards, as I don't have to worry about saving the village. The citizens are all safe and evacuated. You both are but children playing with things that should be left alone. Go back to your village." He abjured them. All words said Pain, who had recovered from the momentary shock of seeing the Uchiha Jutsu imitated by Naruto. "I will tear apart the wood easily, Uzumaki. Or Ichi will cut it to shreds. Submit to me or die," he said in a certain voice. "I will strip this man of his god complex," resolved Naruto as he pumped his extraordinary chakra through the highly conducive god armor. His skeletal construct shone a blinding silver as the wood turned transparent, making it look exactly like the Susanoo. It even towered over Ichi's Susanoo as its own forearms began to manifest various weapons. The two upper arms bore enormous long swords of bright silver chakra, and blue chakra began to swirl in the palms of the arms below. Now for the hard part, thought Naruto as he caused Udama Rasengan to appear in the lower arms. The eyes of his Kamisoko began to shine with white fire as he turned to face a flabbergasted Ichi and Pain. "I told you I would stop holding back," he said gravely as his god armor raised its swords and swung them towards Pain, the force of its slash ripping up the ground everywhere. Pain managed to repel the force slash with gravity manipulation and rushed towards Naruto, whose Kamisoko slammed an Udama Rasengan with terrific force at Ichi's Susanoo. "I expected that," thought Naruto as a terrible explosion ensued once more. Ichi's Susanoo stood unscathed as it held up the mirror. Naruto met the swing of the Totsuka sword with one of his own long swords, causing the air to ripple all around them. He slammed the remaining Udama Rasengan at the rapidly approaching Pain, but the Akatsuki leader held up his hands to meet the massive attack. "You used Pretal Path, just as I thought. Time to show you the real meaning of power," thought Naruto as Pain drained out the Rasengan with the Pretal Path. The massive Kamisoko made fists of its now free lower two hands and slammed them with unbelievable force on the Akatsuki leader, who had clearly not expected that attack. The already wounded ground exploded once more in a large circular explosion as Pain's body was crushed completely. He felt the life force of the fallen Akatsuki return to the real Pain far away. Ichi's Susanoo wavered and dissipated as he appeared next to Pain's now crushed body, gathering it easily in his arms. Before leaving, he looked at Naruto with his eternal Mangekyo and called him with Tsukumi. Naruto released his god armor as he felt reality waver around him. This time, Ichi's genjutsu was very strong. He doubted he could break out without his Sage Mode or Kurama. Ichi's Tsukuyomi was now not a world of racing white and red. No, it was a bottomless black void they stood in. A void that would probably render the mind of the weak into pieces. Naruto turned as Ichi appeared in front of him with a whisper. Why did the two of you attack Kumo, Ichi? Though I think it will help in mobilizing the nations against Akatsuki. He shook his head as Ichi stared at him. It was fortunate I was here to stop pain. He is still not used to unifying the 6 paths in another body and using all of them at once. Where is he learning all this? I found it quite hard to fight him. Ichi considered his words for a time, and replied. Firstly, the temptation of having 2 Jinchuriki with such ease was too appealing to Akatsuki. The impostor seemed to think having 2 Jinchuriki in reserve beforehand would accelerate his plans. I am sorry I could not do more, Naruto. My cover is the highest priority, as you well know, sighed Ichi. Indeed, said Naruto. But you fought extremely well, Ichi. When the time comes I have no doubt we can keep Konoha safe from Akatsuki, he said with a distant look. I noticed the shape of your eternal Sharingan. It is extremely fitting, Ichi. Perhaps it is fate's way of marking the true heir of the Sharingan, he mused. Ichi just smiled and said, that may be. But I never knew you could match my Susanoo with one of your own. How many aces do you have in your sleeve, Shodai Hokage? He asked with a kind of amused wonder. Naruto just grinned. We all have our secrets. Then his face grew serious. I cannot let another village experience the aftermath of battles between me and Pain. I will try to find some means of rapid communication between us. Ichi nodded at this. I must leave, Naruto, he said. Naruto nodded, readying himself to return to reality. Before Ichi let go, he asked, one last thing, Ichi. Why do you call me Naruto suddenly? I thought you wanted me to be Hashirama? Ichi just shook his head and answered, the past haunts us all with its weight, Naruto. It is in the future we can hope to redefine ourselves and gain hope. The future is real, and the past is gone. Naruto smiled wholeheartedly at Ichi's answer as the Tsukuyomi wavered and Ichi disappeared into the distance with the remains of Pain's David path. He understands. He understands completely. The Raikage walked through the village of Kumo, surveying the damage to his village with a frown. The north half of the village completely demolished after Naruto fought Pain and Ichi, testifying to the level of their fight. His entourage looked at the broken buildings and the large craters with sadness and a hint of wonder. Shinobi knew when to appreciate strength, and this was probably the most awe-inspiring battle they had ever seen. It seemed the rumors of Uzumaki Naruto's strength was not really an exaggeration. If anything, it is an understatement, snorted the Raikage to himself. Though he was extremely angered at the loss of half his village, he supposed that he owed Naruto for containing Pain's assault within just the northern half. It was thanks to the young Uzumaki that his people were saved, and thanks to the highly efficient organization of his shinobi. Raikage-sama. Rebuilding all this is an enormous task. We will have to commission specialists for the task, and that will take resources we do not have now. We will have to increase mission intake, said Darui lazily. I suppose, started the Raikage, but was interrupted by the arrival of his guests. Naruto stood in front of him with Sasuke, who was wearing a sullen expression. Naruto turned to survey the utter and widespread devastation his fight had caused, and said, I will construct the northern half as you wish it. Consider it a gift of goodwill from Konoha, Raikage. Naruto! Exclaimed Ujito as B sent him a thumbs up sign. Naruto smiled at them but looked at the Raikage inquiringly. I seemed conflicted, but Naruto continued. I assume you now see the need for alliance. I was able to stop them for now, but this war will not be all about me. We need rapid response forces to deal with Akatsuki and all the allied nations. We need our 3 nations to join, for there is no other way to counter the rising power block of the Akatsuki, he said solemnly. A's expression cleared as Naruto spoke, and for once the Kage spoke with a calm voice. You speak the truth. I will see what I can do to convince the council of this. I will never let this happen to my village ever again, I swear it.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you guys want to watch more like it, please subscribe to my channel and become part of the video game fanfiction plot. And please leave a comment down below and hit that like button. If you guys have any suggestions on any stories you guys want me to read, don't hesitate. They're always welcome here in the video game fanfic plot. That also goes for video games. Until next time, goodbye!